everybody. Welcome back to the NXT Rundown. Not back like after a break, but back after I've taken a break, I guess? It's been a while since I've done this. I'm a little rusty. This is weird. I don't know. But I'm really glad to be back because now I can breathe again. Yay! This is a good thing. And I can talk about NXT. And it's good that I'm, able to get back into the swing of things before TakeOver and not just at TakeOver. So I missed a couple shows, and I apologize for that. I talked about that on the main show. You probably listened to that if you're listening to this. But I usually say hello VIP subscribers. So hello to the VIP subscribers, but hello world also, because this is the first show that I'm putting on YouTube. And I'm really excited about that because, I don't know, sharing NXT goodness and all of that mushy-gushy jazz stuff. But I am not here by myself. I am coming to you live, pre-recorded from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I am joined again on the show by William Studd. Hello, dear.
Hello, how are you?
I'm alright. You know that I keep coughing, but...
Yes, but it's okay. We'll get through this one way or another.
It's true. I'll try to edit out most of those. We'll see.
And I'll make you drink water occasionally.
Yes, thank you very much.
You are welcome. Teamwork at its best.
Yes, definitely. So, in the, intermediate period of time since you were on the show last, you actually started watching NXT on a regular basis.
I did.
I'm so proud of this.
Well, and you know this because we watch it together, even though you're not here. We still
we watch it over Facebook Messenger, basically, and I type excited things in capital letters about minutia. Like how I exclaim stuff here.
Right.
Basically, I try to convey that through typing. Like how Kenny and I watch Total Divas sometimes.
Yes, I enjoy it because you have much more experience with NXT, and so I'm looking at something going, what the hell is this? And as soon as I'm thinking, what the hell is this? You're going, this is this. So it's like, you already know what I'm thinking as far as that goes because you know my limited experience with NXT. So it is
and also, I just get over-explanatory when it comes to NXT.
Yeah, yes. But it works, so.
That's probably why I have a show about it where I can over-explain things for like an hour.
That makes total sense.
I think it's a pretty good system.
It is.
Well, we'll get into the show in just a moment. We're going to take a brief musical interlude, because I haven't done musical interludes in a while. So, we're doing that, and we'll be back.
Shade, nah, it's not quite. Hustling every day, I'm on my way to that job like it's my destiny to be bigger, yeah, I got fight. And all that visions are sitting high on my own gold throne. Never listening criticism, I built my own. From the bottom, I've gotten myself in my own zone. Never stopping, I made it and no, I ain't gone home.
And we're back here in the NXT Rundown, and we're getting into the episode September 30, 2015. It's the go-home show for TakeOver: Respect, and I keep forgetting that it was the go-home show, because it just, something about this TakeOver just doesn't feel like a big deal as a whole, except for the main event, which I am so excited about, and we'll talk about that later, because the video package that ended the show, but...
Yes.
We opened it with Kyle Edwards in the newsroom kind of thing, and he just, to keep you up to date on the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and I thought the news report style of the thing was kind of cool. I'm getting kind of really tired of this Tag Team Classic.
I did like the news report style. It was something interesting. It was a little different, but the Tag Team Classic has been going on for... 3-4 weeks now?
Something like that, yeah.
And it's...
And a lot of it's on the live events.
Yeah. I know they have the little vignettes about it, and everything, and that's all well and good, but I'm ready for something new to be happening.
Yeah, I'm ready for potentially a championship story or something
I
of
would
that
like
nature. I think that would be great. And we'll talk about the champion in a minute, but what Kyle Edwards told us is that Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, basically, they are not hype, and they kick the hype out of the hype bros, and I was very glad to see that, because, of course I was, because seriously, the hype bros, nobody wants to deal with them. Yeah, no. It was funny, they talked about Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley fighting so valiantly, they were really building them up and being like, no, they're so awesome, right? Who they did not really build up all that well in this little news segment were the tag team champions. Now, the Mechanics beat the Vaudevillains in their live event round match thing. And I don't actually have a problem with this because I'm in love with the Mechanics, so we know this.
Yes.
It's very exciting. I'm in love with the Vaudevillains too, but the Vaudevillains get all of the attention, and the Mechanics are starting to get attention, and that makes me really happy, and we'll see them later in the show. And something that occurred to me, it was like, oh, too bad this wasn't for the belts, you know? Like, you could have been the next Blake and Murphy getting an upset win on the champion. No, on second thought, I'm really glad that wasn't for the titles. We already have a Blake and Murphy, and I kind of like them, but, you know, we don't need another one.
Correct. Yeah, you don't. I mean, when you have two of the same, it just doesn't work. I mean, as we've seen throughout history with wrestling, you know. So yeah.
Right. How did you feel about like the tag champions getting out of this, and they're not even in the semifinal rounds at TakeOver, so the Vaudevillains, I don't believe, are on the show.
That's really crappy. I know that the WWE is not big on tag team stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But you would think that they would at least put the champion in the show. But I mean, hell, if you look at the main roster shows, the main pay-per-views, a lot of the times the tag champions are the curtain jerker matches on the pre-show.
Right.
You know, and it was either the tag team champions or the U.S. champion. And that's really sad because the championships are supposed to mean something.
They're supposed to mean a lot. And the tag belts in NXT are the ones that have always kind of fallen by the wayside. And it's just, I don't know, there's something weird to me about the fact that the tag champions are not going to be on the show. And I'm losing my voice again, so I apologize if I start sounding like, I don't know, sexy late night Sondra or something, because that's creepy. But it seems weird to me that the tag champs aren't on the show when the entire focus of NXT has been this tag team tournament for no prize.
Right. But I can kind of see to a point that because there's no prize, because it's not for the number one contendership or anything like that.
Right. Which confused me for a long time. I thought it was for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I did too, and
probably because I did.
Yeah. But, I can see how since it's not for a number one contendership or anything like that, I can see why they're not necessarily on the show, because they don't want people to think, oh well, these guys are number one contenders for the tag team titles and blah 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 blah.
And there are already 2 tag matches because we're getting the semifinals.
Yeah.
So, I get it. It kind of sucks because I do love the Vaudevillains a whole lot too. But yeah, I'm not mad at the Mechanics for winning, because that means that we're going to get to see them at TakeOver Respect, and that's really exciting for me.
I misunderstood at first. I thought that the final match was at this upcoming pay-per-view.
I thought it was too, actually. Now that you bring it up, like, I'm fairly sure that when Regal made that announcement initially, it was that the finals of the tournament will culminate at TakeOver Respect on October 7. But
there's still 2.
There's still 2 matches.
Unless there's going to be 3 tag matches, the last semifinals and the last final match.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was kind of wondering the same. That's why this didn't feel like a go-home show. I don't feel like it was all that clear.
I agree. It wasn't all that clear. Plus, the show was kind of mediocre compared to the last couple, and you kind of want to go into a pay-per-view with something good.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you want to do something good. That's why they, that make people buy the pay-per-view, even though I know this is on the network, but still, they want people to tune in.
Yeah. And I mean, these takeover shows are a big deal. It's weird because it almost feels like this is just a placeholder until London. And, you know, it's probably because it's on my birthday, but when they announced that there was going to be a takeover in London, I was like, oh my gosh, takeover London. Ah, that's crazy and awesome, and I really want to go, but it's London and I can't. But at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, we have another one in the middle. And I think this is kind of the definition of a one-match pay-per-view.
Pretty much. I mean, that's really how it seems. I mean, they ended the show with the video package about the tag or the Iron Woman match, and that, I think that was their strongest portion of the go home show as far as
it was a video package.
Yeah, as far as building up for the pay-per-view. I know they're trying to build up Asuka, and that's great, and they had the little video package of her, which we'll talk about later, but I mean, it kind of sucks that the two best parts of the show were video packages.
Right. Yeah, it is weird. It is really weird. But speaking of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, we got, and this, it's just another one of my things. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe handily kind of trounced the most established tag team in NXT. Enzo and Cass have been together for years. And I know that I'm really hard on Enzo and Cass lately, and I know they're not your favorites, but they are the longest, like, I almost just longest reigning. No, not longest reigning anything. They have never reigned over anything, but they're the most established tag team in NXT. They've been together the longest, and they have been a big deal, and they've been proven to work together well in the past.
Right.
And Samoa Joe and Finn Balor are not tag team wrestlers.
No, they're not. As I've said before, I'm not a huge Samoa Joe fan, but I do like Finn Balor. But
he's one of your favorites, probably.
On NXT.
On NXT.
Definitely. Yeah. It's probably our mutual love of comic books and all things of that, because, you know, he does come out with the different symbiote body paints for the pay-per-views and stuff, and I'm a fan, so...
But yeah, I mean, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe come out separately, because of course they do, because they're not really a team, right? And
exactly.
We can't not have Finn Balor's entrance, because that's Finn Balor. Now, I love his jacket. I remember you asking, is the jacket a new thing?
Yeah.
And it is fairly new. I think Mr. Sondra and I talked about that. But since then, I've heard that it's very similar to his jacket that he had in New Japan.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty sweet. It doesn't light up, sadly, and I doubt it will because of one...
Y2J.
Y2J. Ugh.
You say that with such distaste.
Well, have you listened to his podcast?
No. Yours is the only podcast I've listened to.
Yeah, see? You've been saved from Y2J.
Instead of saved by Y2J.
Yeah, he doesn't save people anymore. He just tortures their ears. But yes, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. The match with Enzo and Cass was fine, I guess.
It was alright.
Fine. Cass was in it most of the time, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin Cassidy and Samoa Joe, I think, had the most exchanges because big.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. It does bother me a lot, actually, that Enzo and Cass hit Enzo. Hit it perfectly. They weren't being stupid. Enzo wasn't out on his feet. It wasn't one of those situations. Cass threw Enzo. Enzo splashed Joe, I believe. Mm-hmm. And Joe just kicked out, like, fuck you. Nope.
Yeah, he pulled a, oh god, who was it? The guys who took the gore from Rhino.
Connor O'Brien.
Yeah.
Or Connor.
Yeah, he pulled a Connor, and it was like...
Except still during the match.
Yeah, that was kind of insulting.
Because that's their finisher that kills everyone dead.
I am not an Enzo fan. I like Cass much more than Enzo. But still, I mean, he took the move. He should at least went for let him go for a 1 count or something like that. Because he rolled straight out of it, and he hit him with something, and I don't remember what.
Something to set up the muscle buster.
Yeah, I'm not a Samoa Joe fan. It just is, sorry.
It just is. I mean, it's not like you don't think that he's competent or whatever. It's just...
It's not that I don't respect what he's done in wrestling or his ability. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, and I'm not so far just because I haven't seen that much. I mean, it's fine. I need him to be in a story. Also, his tag team partner, I need him to be in a story. And I assume this is going to be leading to them breaking up as a team, because they're not really a team, right? Like, they're just
Right.
kind of hanging out together for whatever. Oh yeah, match ended, muscle buster, coup de grace, done.
Yeah.
Enzo's dead, pinned, gone. And Finn Balor and Samoa Joe are in the semifinals at TakeOver Respect.
Yeah, I am not a fan of the double stomp. I don't care what you want to call it. It's the frickin' double stomp. As a finisher, I'm not a fan. As a move, mid-match move, okay. But I am not sold on the double stomp. When you see things like the pedigree or the choke slam or the stud factor or
Which is his finisher, which is awesome.
or the gore or, stuff like that, something that busts you in half or, really genuinely puts you down. A double stomp just doesn't.
I think it's supposed to be, I am jumping so high in the air and all of my weight is coming down on you and stomp, boom, I'm probably supposed to be crushing your ribcage and you should maybe be dead.
Okay, I can see that, but it just still.
I know it's not your thing.
On a small guy maybe, but if you were to do that to, I don't know,
You?
me, if you were to do that to Rhino,
Mm-hmm.
Rhino should kick out of that after a 1 count. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, and Finn Balor is one of your favorites, so it's not
He
him.
is,
It's just he doesn't like the finisher very much.
Yeah, I don't like the finisher. I'd like to see him do something different. I realize that is a different finisher, but I'd like to see him do something other than that.
Something different to the different thing.
Yes.
Something else different.
Something that I like more, but still different.
Something that you like more. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That makes sense. I know what I was talking about before. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe are going into the semifinals. And it's going to be Finn Balor and Samoa Joe versus the Mechanics. And yeah, like, we'll talk about the Mechanics, but it just, I don't know. We'll get to that later. There's a segment of the match that I really, 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 really want to see. And I don't know if I'm going to get to see that in the final, probably, but it is what it is. Up next, we see Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa backstage, and they were being interviewed by a disembodied WWE.com interviewer. Basically, the point of this was expectations. They had expectations coming into this, and they had expectations of themselves, and they didn't live up to those expectations because they got out of the tag team tournament thing. And expectations, they said a whole lot. They expected themselves to do better. Their expectations for themselves are through the roof. And then they were talking about how Johnny Gargano was scheduled to fight Apollo Crews later in the evening, which he does, and talking about how they've both fought all over the world and how they've wrestled each other before. And what I wrote in my notes was Johnny Gargano is friends with Apollo Crews and is fighting him tonight. They fought, and respect, probably. I don't know. But Tyler Breeze, Prince Pretty, definition of delish, comes in because he's still very annoyed at Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano over the whole first round being out of the Tag Team Classic because of Bull Dempsey thing.
Yes.
Right, so it makes sense that he's interrupting them here, because he still has a chip on his shoulder about it, so logic, which I think puts this above the last episode you watched, because I don't know if there was, like, any of that.
I want to say no.
Yeah, because that one was pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
But Tyler Breeze is still annoyed about that, and Tyler Breeze wants to have a match with Tommaso Ciampa. Now, what Tyler Breeze said is, if it's okay with Mr. Regal,
Yeah.
we should have a match tonight. And I was so excited because it's the same Sondra geeking out over these things, but, not, we're going to have a match tonight and that's going to happen because I make all the matches because I'm a wrestler. No, that's not it. It's, I want to wrestle you because I'm annoyed with you, and let's go run this by the general manager, though, who manages things generally, so we can make this all official.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's right. You haven't heard me say that very many times. It's one of my things. But I love that makes sense, basically. And after that, we had an Asuka vignette It was just the one where she had her mask on, right? And then took it
Yeah,
off
she
and
took
looked badass.
Yeah.
Did they show her at this point doing the punching? No,
No,
that was later. Okay,
But
gotcha.
at this point, was it the vignette that had
I think it had
it had
footage of
other
her
footage
murder,
of
death kicking other ladies.
yeah.
Yeah, she looks pretty badass. I'm excited to see her in the ring. So yeah, that's actually a match I'm kind of excited about for TakeOver, frankly. And we'll talk a little bit more about that because her opponent is up very soon.
Mm-hmm.
But we got Apollo Crews versus Johnny Gargano after that. This was very good. This was very athletic. This was very competent. I don't remember any of it.
I don't really either. I am not sold on Johnny Gargano or Apollo Crews. I'm liking Apollo Crews a little bit more. But I'm not sold on either of them. Apollo Crews is athletic as hell, and that's great, but you gotta do something more than smile at the crowd. Johnny Gargano, I'm not sold on him or his partner.
I don't think we've seen enough of them
They just,
to really know.
they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
And, that's great. Congratulations on there. But
And they just came in, too, so I don't know. We're kind of building them slowly, which is fine. Like, if they're going to be part of the NXT landscape, that's awesome.
right.
Because we need people to be part of the NXT landscape. But I think something I said to you is I love that NXT is Triple H's E-Fed, but I'm starting to hate that NXT is Triple H's E-Fed in some ways because it's just feeling more and more disconnected. And then you get people like Tyler Breeze in, and where do you even put him? Because he is NXT, and all the new guys are coming in, and I don't know. But Apollo Crews wins the match,
Yes.
which makes sense. He wins with the Gorilla Press Slam thing, followed by a standing moonsault.
Yes.
And I really like that. I like that combination. I think it's good. It's, it's a 1-2 punch of now the match is done.
It's okay, but it still doesn't seem like a definitive boom and the match is over. It's not like a rock bottom or a stunner or,
Right.
a handful of other things that we've seen over the years.
I think some of that, though, is that we have the repetition on the side of those moves. Because we don't have the repetition with him. We haven't seen enough matches to really know that that's necessarily a thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I will still, I'll still watch and give it the benefit of the doubt. I just am not sold on
You come around to some things sometimes. It just takes time. I just have to convince you that these things are worth sticking with. But after Apollo Crews and Johnny Gargano, Dana Boobs and Emma talk to William Regal in a segment that is pure delight for me. Pure delight. And again, I need to just put in some of Dana's audio here because, oh, Dana Boobs, you're so shite and I love you.
You're always wanting to be taken seriously here in NXT, aren't you?
Very serious.
And I can't think of a better way for you to be taken seriously than on the 7th of October, you competing at NXT TakeOver against Asuka. Wonderful, isn't it?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes.
Do you think that is supposed to, scare me, Mr.
Oh,
Regal?
no.
I mean, I guess you didn't see how she ran out of our ring with her tail tucked between her legs.
I watched it.
You did?
Ran away.
So you saw her smile, right?
Oh, yeah.
She looks like a HyHEEna.
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 Ah,
She says it like that.
yes.
I mean, we did show her. Did you see that?
I did.
Did you?
I did. But I think you should see a little more of Asuka.
Okay.
So that's Dana. That's Dana. My favorite thing, and something that's very intentional, obviously, because she says HyHEEna. She's calling, because they're talking to William Regal, because William Regal wanted to call them into the office to discuss their treatment of Asuka last week, which I didn't talk about, so we can talk about that quickly. During the contract signing with Asuka, William Regal brought her out, and it was really cool, and it seems like they're treating her like Lady Kenta, basically. And not just because Japan, but because, big contract signing. Granted, this one wasn't in Japan, and Hulk Hogan didn't officiate it.
Yeah.
Because that was a thing. I don't know if you knew that.
That was a thing.
That was a thing. But, I mean, she's coming in, she's signing the contract, she's really excited to be here, you know, she is Japanese, and then a mean tag team comes to attack her, basically, and she ran away, kind of?
Yeah, she walked out of the ring, walked back up the ramp onto the staging area, and then looked back at them and smiled, and I was expecting her to, I don't know, do something after the smile.
Yeah.
But she kind of just banged out and was like, I'll just smile at you and then leave. And
I was like, peace out, dude.
I was like, I don't get that at all.
It was very anticlimactic. And
that doesn't scream, it's a thing to me.
No. And I assume that what it's going to be is, you know, oh, she's just laying in wait or whatever, but the execution of it was weird. Yeah, but that was last week, and William Regal wants to talk to Dana and Emma for interrupting the contract signing, and because Dana and Emma were like, get out of our ring, bye-bye, you know, because they're mean, and they're evil, and they're awful, and so, of course that's what they're gonna do, right? And by awful, I mean that I love them so much. So, so William Regal was like, you know, that was just very inappropriate or whatever, and then, you know, when William Regal asked, you know, you want to be taken seriously? Very serious, like Dana wants to be total Dana, and Emma's kind of still just too cold and dead inside to care, it seems.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to still be the strongest, and she wants to be known as, like, the person who's awesome, but she's so disillusioned at this point that she's just kind of like, fuck everything.
Right in the ear.
Yeah, right in the ear. And I love it. I love Emma so much. I don't love her new top very much.
No, it looks kind of overly complicated, and it draws attention to the area right below the neck, but not the boobs.
Yeah.
So, the clavicle area, and I don't know, it looks, I'm not a fan.
It's a weird cut on her, I think.
This is true.
It's not my favorite.
This is also true.
But Dana calling Asuka a HyHEEna. A HyHEEna. She says it twice.
Yeah.
And then Emma goes, yeah, she says it like that.
Yeah. I liked it because as Sondra will tell everyone, I am a goofball pretty much. And
yeah, 100%.
When I'm not in the wrestling ring, I'm a goofball, and I always try to make everyone laugh, and so I'm a fan of saying things stupidly or goofily to you know, get a laugh out of it. And so I enjoyed it for that, but as far as something that she's trying to get over as a serious thing, and I don't know, I could be mistaken, but that's just how
I don't think that's what it was.
Okay.
I think it's just Dana being so over the top.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Like how she's so over the top with everything, you know? Like wearing all the makeup in all the land.
She does that a lot.
A lot. Like...
Was her gear, was that new? Dana Boob's gear, was that new?
She's been switching up the gear. It's morphing. I don't know, it was the pink and black again, wasn't it?
I think so, but it was cut really weird, like she wanted her thong to hang out.
Yeah, she probably did.
I'm just saying that's how it was cut. I'm not complaining. I mean, whatever. You know.
Right.
But she is attractive and all, but it's just like, why?
Well, ask
why?
Lita.
Is it true? Lita, that was a thing.
Yeah.
So maybe she's trying to make that
a thong thing.
And okay,
I think it's Dana. I think Dana, honestly, what she's doing right now is she is trying everything. She's trying everything to get over, everything to figure out what her personality is, everything to, you know, it's developmental. So she's trying different things every day. And she's going as over the top as possible. And I think it's working for her, actually, because she is kind of settling into a character more. And it's a lot better than when she was just the living embodiment of a Titantron and rubbed herself all the time, and that's all she did.
Really?
I'll show you her debut.
Wow.
It's real bad.
That sounds like softcore porn.
I think that's what she was going for.
Oh, well then.
But like softcore robot porn.
Oh, so that's not even good.
Yeah. It was super weird. There was a lot of rubbing of herself. But in the segment, William Regal then shows them, this is what you're dealing with, because Dana wants to be taken seriously, or Dana wants to be taken very serious. And so William Regal says that if Dana wants to be taken so seriously, then at TakeOver Respect, she is going to be fighting Asuka. And she's like, okay, yeah, like that HyHEEna, I don't remember. I cut the audio, you know what it says.
She is a HyHEEna.
She is a HyHEEna. But then William Regal takes his computer and says, I want to show you some footage of Kana. Because they brought her in as Kana. That's another thing they did that reminded me of Kenta, was they had Kana on the screen before it switched to Asuka, just like they did with Fergal Devitt, just like they did with Kenta. So they're not pretending that she's brand new or anything. Like, they're treating her like a very, very big deal, in the same way that they treated Kenta like he was a very, very big deal. And I really appreciate that they're doing that for a woman wrestler.
Yes.
I really do. I think it's very cool. And I did really like, actually, Emma and Dana's reactions to the footage, because they're just kind of like, oh, how cute, it's her. And then their faces just kind of go like, oh, shit. She's really, really intense. And Emma just kind of like, she's looking at the computer like, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. And she actually walks off and says to Dana, good luck with that. Glad I don't have to fight that person.
Right.
And Dana doesn't know where to look the entire time. She's watching footage on a computer, theoretically, and doesn't know whether to look at the computer.
No, yeah, she's watching footage on the computer, but yet she's looking at Emma, she's looking at the camera, looking at Regal, glances at the computer real quick, then back at the camera, then over at Emma again. It's like,
I mean, I get that, like, if you're watching something, you look at the person you're watching it with, but this is just Dana not knowing how to look at a camera or not at a camera, and it's just so adorable. She'll get better, maybe. After that, Nia Jax, still broody, talking about greatness, destiny, whatever. What did you say about Nia Jax?
I said, Nia Jax is a HyHEEna.
Because all she's doing is just... she's still coming soon. We don't know when. Still soon, apparently. After that is when we saw Asuka doing a punching bag. Not doing a punching bag.
Punching a
punching bag.
Working out on a punching bag.
Yes.
A heavy bag.
Because she is badass, and I assume that's what... See, I think that Dana and Emma probably watched the footage of her, murder death kicking the other ladies, right? Not the punching bag video?
I don't know, that punching bag video was because she was making all the same kind of...
Oh, yeah.
So that could have been what they were showing. I'm going to be honest, I didn't care for it. She'll go, okay, so she can hit a punching bag.
That's the thing.
Any idiot can hit a punching bag and make it look halfway decent.
Yeah.
But that's completely different from...
I liked the murder death kicking the ladies one.
That was better. Because
that showed, hey, look, she can wrestle and kill you.
Yes.
And that's what she's supposed to be doing. So, yeah. After we saw Asuka with a punching bag, we got Dana and Emma versus Team Long Legs from Australia. Because apparently, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay are now just a tag team. And they did tag together as Cassie and Jessie, when they didn't have names yet. But I told you how bad their music is and how they just
They're horrible at life.
They're not completely horrible at life, but I liked Peyton Royce at first when she came in, and I thought she was doing some good stuff, and this wasn't very good again.
No, this was not good. I try to pay attention to every match, basically, but I'm going to be honest, I kind of tuned out a little bit during that one.
I did too, and we watched it twice.
We did, and I tuned out both times.
It was really difficult to follow.
It just wasn't entertaining. I mean, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, I'm just saying, it was not entertaining.
It was one of those that just
And I was expecting more out of it because Emma was involved. But no, we got nothing. It was like, aha, we will show you this, but not show you anything.
Right. And I mean, I know the point of the match clearly wasn't Dana and Emma versus Team Long Legs, which could actually be a story if they wanted to go with it, because, 3 out of the 4 women in that ring are Australian.
Yeah.
And that could be interesting, right? Like, hey, you're trying to follow in my footsteps, but I'm way better than you, and I'm evil Emma because I'm,
That's what
I'm
I
a
do.
bastard, so I'm gonna kick your ass for also being from Australia. Like, I could see that being a story. But, no. Billy Kay and Peyton Royce are wearing pink and orange, and that's what they did best.
They wore pink and orange
That's not
best.
fair. That's not what they did best in the match. There were a few decent things, but it wasn't great.
There were decent things, but it wasn't. I mean, I can't pick one out.
I just can't remember any of them.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. But the point of it was basically to build up Dana and Asuka, because commentary the entire time was talking about Dana needing to prepare to fight Asuka, and so they're having matches, which is good. Like, it's good to have wrestling matches to build to other wrestling matches. That's how wrestling works.
Yes.
So that's positive. I thought it was kind of funny. Corey Graves had a good line. They were talking about what Dana's going to need to do to prepare, and Corey Graves just goes, she needs to spend equal time in the gym and church. Corey Graves is like, Asuka's so ridiculous, and Dana needs to train and also pray for her soul, or something. So that's a thing. Dana wins with, I don't know if she even has a name for that yet. The Samoan Driver. I can't think of a name that they've called it.
There may not be a name for it other than the Samoan Driver at this moment. She executed it fairly well.
It was decent enough this time.
It wasn't great, but it was alright. But yeah, it was just, again, kind of like, eh.
It was kind of there.
I mean, yeah.
I think the main thing we took away from this match was that Emma wore half gloves to the ring.
That was the best thing about this match.
I liked her half gloves that she wore to the ring.
I did too. When I first saw her come out with them, I was like, those are kind of cool, but she's not gonna be able to work in those.
No, because they would come off.
Yes. And she obviously didn't work in those, so everything was fine, but it was just one of those.
You don't always necessarily comment on gear like I do either. And you were like, gloves.
Yes. Yes. I liked the gloves. I would like to see Emma go back to doing singles matches.
Me too.
And
Although I like what she's doing with Dana, and I think the singles scene is fairly full still. Well, not anymore, but...
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I think that she probably will, because I think, like, Dana's gonna be elevated, which means maybe not... I know, you're giving me this look like I'm mental or whatever, but no,
You're gonna elevate Dana
over Emma. Yeah. Yep, that's the plan.
That is lame.
That's very lame, because Emma's very, very good.
Yes.
And Dana's
not
so much. She's learning. She's getting less terrible.
You know what she looks like when she comes out to the ring? She looks like a female bodybuilder who is strutting their stuff on the stage for the judges. That's exactly what she looks like.
That's exactly what she's doing.
I know, and I don't like it. Change your shit, Dana Boobs.
Change your shit, Dana Boobs. I love her.
Okay, Sondra may love you, but...
William doesn't love you.
Not at all.
No.
You're hot, but kind of. But not. That's about it. That's all you got going for you.
You should have heard Mr. Saunders' disdain when I admitted to loving Dana Boobs on the show on the last one that we did. He got very upset. He was like, why am I married to you? When you like Dana Brooke. Grr. But speaking of terrible interviews, Devin Taylor's back. Jason Jordan and Chad Gable talked to Devin. And Jason Jordan's like, call me JJ, because he's trying to be all jovial again. And I don't know, I find it endearing. You're probably still not sold on them.
Not at all. I would like to punch them in the everything and make them go away forever.
And I would not let you, because Chad Gable's one of my very, very favorites. But they're talking to Devin, and she asks something about the odds that they're going to face, because they're going to be facing Baron Corbin and Rhino at TakeOver: Respect. And
you're going to take over that colon and show it some respect.
Right, exactly. So Chad Gable's like, oopsie, you didn't mean to say odds, Devin. That was your bad. I wrestled in the Olympics. You know that, right? And he was being really, really patronizing to Devin, which I loved. And they were going to say they were ready, willing, and And Jason Jordan was maybe about to say Gable, but then the mechanics come in. And Chad, of course, Jason was about to say my name. What are you two doing? And like, yeah, it is as weird as it sounds. It is as weird as it sounds, but I love it. So Scott Dawson comes in, and I love the mechanics completely. And I think that this proves my point that they shouldn't be called friggin' Dash and Dawson, because Scott Dawson comes in and says something about Dawson and Dash are going to win the tournament. If their tag name is supposed to be Dash and Dawson, like, he should know that.
You would think so, but sometimes...
You know what's a good name for a team?
No, what?
The Mechanics.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Sometimes people are just dumb.
Yeah, that's real true.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about this because I just don't
you
give
don't
a
like them.
About these guys.
Yeah. I love the Mechanics. Basically, Scott Dawson says, what makes you think you can get past Corbin and Rhino? Consider this your end of days, because ha ha ha, not Scott Dawson's best mic work. It was eh.
It was, yeah.
Yes. The main event match of the evening was Tyler Breeze versus Tommaso Ciampa. And Tyler Breeze pointed his selfie stick at Tommaso in a very menacing way, and I thought that was super adorable. So that was my favorite. And when they were talking about Tyler's ring gear, it was kind of funny because I think it was Corey said it was made from the large character from Monsters, Inc., Sully, I believe. And that was humorous to me because I love Monsters, Inc. And also that's my favorite Tyler Breeze gear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. So I'm a big fan. Yeah, at one point they were doing, what was it, like pin exchanges, and then Tyler ends up riding on Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes. They...
like a horse.
They shifted back and forth, what, a couple, maybe 3 times?
Yeah.
Something like that. And then Tyler ended up, riding him like a horse.
Which was strange, but kind of funny.
I know you're a fan of Tyler Breeze, and I'm going to be honest, I like Tyler Breeze in this match much more than the other guy. I know the other guy's name, but I just refuse to...
You really don't like him.
No, I don't. I think...
What is it that you don't like other than not being sold on him because you aren't sold on him?
They just seem boring to me. He just seems boring. I mean, he may be something more eventually, but right now, I'm like, I am so bored with this shit. I'd rather...
And there was a lot of that
Yeah.
on this show, and there seems to be a lot of that lately because, like, we need to build people up, but you know what I just realized? This is a sad realization for me. What they're doing with these guys, and Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are probably one of the best examples of this. They're bringing them in and they're making them into a big deal, and they're saying, like, we're a big deal, but they're not giving them anything to even really do. Because even when they brought in Finn Balor, even though he doesn't always feel integrated into the fabric of NXT, they brought him in and he had a thing to do because he was with Hideo Itami and they were fighting the Ascension, and that was a thing. But with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they're just saying, these guys are important. Full Sail chants for them because they know who they are. That was something that just kind of twisted my heart around when I heard Full Sail chanting for Tommaso over Tyler Breeze. Like, Tyler Breeze is Full Sail. What even are you doing, Full Sail? But I think part of the reason that you're not sold on them, and this is my realization, is that they're like Raw. They're not showing their work. They're just saying, we are good. We promise.
They were built up...
Believe that we are good, but they're not showing us why.
They were built up by Mr. Regal that the hottest tag team, the hottest free agents in our industry. And it's like, really? Because
there are
why?
hotter free agents in the industry, but...
yes.
And they are big names, they are. But
and that's great, but
But if you don't know them from before...
Yeah, I'm good because I said I'm good. Really? That's not how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think the wrestling's been fine.
I mean, they both lost last night, or on the show.
Which I like.
I do too, because I hate them.
I know that you hate them. I like it because they're the new guys and they should lose. I mean, in a way, they're treating them like Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, in that they're coming in and they're doing a tag thing, and they're new, and they're not going to win over the more established people, because seriously, if Tommaso Ciampa had beaten Tyler Breeze here, I don't know what I would have done. I was going to be very, 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 very sad, and thankfully that did not happen.
I agree.
So...
Like I said, I was rooting for Tyler over the other guy.
But if you compare them coming in with Peyton Royce and Billie Kay or whatever, like, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay are highlighted when they're in the ring. their experience is discussed. They are made to, feel like formidable opponents on commentary and whatnot. But they're not coming in and being like, no, we own the place. They're starting from the bottom, and they'll get better. And that's how it's going to go.
I hope they get better.
Me too. They're putting Tommaso Ciampa in a main event with Tyler Breeze, and it doesn't seem like much of a story other than I am here.
Pretty much.
And I think that's the problem. And I think it's like Raw. They're not showing their work. And if you consider that in contrast to how they're bringing in Asuka, right? Like they had vignettes for her, and we had a contract signing with her that might have been a little anticlimactic, but something happened because Emma and Dana were like, look, we're here. Why are you making such a big deal out of this new person? Which is valid and logical in their minds and also in the world. And so she's automatically in a story with Dana, and you have Emma as another thing, and it's complex, and it's there. And there's going to be wrestling that comes from it. And with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, I like that they're there, but they're just, I don't know. I don't like being told that things are a big deal when I'm not shown that they're a big deal. And I know that you're not super sold on Apollo Crews yet, but the way they're bringing Ciampa and Gargano in is still different to Apollo Crews because he had vignettes. He had stuff that they built him up, and he's working his way up to that kind of main event spot if that's where he gets, which is probably where he's going to get. But I don't know. Just something about it feels off, I guess. And so I can't blame you for not being sold on them because...
like you said, you don't like it when something is... When you're told this is a big deal because, and not given a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't say it exactly like that, but...
when it's just because reasons.
Yeah, and I mean, that works for some things, but that doesn't work for everything, and it does not work for.
It doesn't work for being invested in a performer.
No.
So, there's that. And I'm not giving up hope at all. I think they are really good. Athletically, in terms of being able to do moves, they can do moves. I haven't seen that much storytelling.
No.
Is the problem. But, I mean, we did both agree that his, dripping DDT thing from the top rope?
Yeah.
Tommaso's was way better than Randy Orton's?
Yeah.
Because he didn't just sit there for
Well, I wouldn't say it was way better than Randy Orton's. It was
better.
It was better.
It was better because it had urgency.
It looked more believable, I guess. More. Yeah.
Because he got him up there and then he dropped him.
Yeah, he got him up there and then boom, went with it. Didn't wait, for... And I realize what Orton's doing. He's selling to the crowd and everything and doing the do, and that's great, but...
But, this one didn't have to stall and make Tyler look like a complete idiot.
There is that.
Which I appreciated. And I won't harp on this too much, but on commentary, Corey Graves also talked about the evolution of Tyler Breeze and how he's gotten so much better over the past year.
Right.
I agree. Most, in terms of the performer, I think that, he does improve. He does get better. I think as a character, though, he was main eventing takeovers. He's not main eventing takeovers anymore.
That's true. But you know how that goes with
I
things,
do.
And
it sticks in my craw because it's Tyler, is a lot of it.
Yes.
Because Tyler. I love him way more than you love him, so...
I'm starting to not hate him, so there's that.
That's good.
That's progress.
You always start out hating everything.
Not everything.
Lots of things.
This is true.
I'm just glad I could convince you that NXT as a thing was not hateable.
It is not. There are a lot of good things about NXT, but there are a few things that, in my mind's eye, are just kind of a steaming pile in the middle of something that's cool. Yeah. So it's an unfortunate. Someone needs to go get the dog scraper and get that shit off there.
They need to get back to being NXT and not E-Fed with no story, basically, is what needs to happen, in my opinion. Okay. But Tyler wins the match, thank goodness, with the Unprettier, which is not really one of his things, and so that was weird to me. I had to be like, wait, what is that again? What is happening? It wasn't the beauty shot, it wasn't the supermodel kick. I mean, it works, it's fine, but I don't know. It was weird for me, I guess. And I know he has used it before, but I don't know.
It fits with what he's doing. It fits with his gimmick. I mean, being he's Prince Pretty, which I hate. So, but you know, the move fits with what he's doing, so there's that.
Yeah. So, after all these interview segments, I really feel like the Tag Team Classic has just, like, killed NXT for a while, and I'm gonna be so happy it's over when it's over, which is gonna be soon, thank goodness. Baron Corbin and Rhino talk to a disembodied interviewer backstage, and they say they will win, basically. Like, Rhino says something about how the only people that can stop them are themselves, and Baron's like, the tournament's over because we win, I guess? And that was kind of it. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna win.
Tournament's over, we've already won.
Because I'm Baron Corbin and I can't say words like a human.
He's horrible at life.
One of the themes of NXT TakeOver: Respect is called Happy Song, and I don't know why, probably because it was very late at night, but I was just like, it's called Happy Song? Really? Really? Apparently that's a thing. But the best part of the show, by far, unfortunately wasn't the wrestling again this week. It was the video package about Sasha Banks and Bayley going toward NXT, TakeOver: Respect. And I thought this was a really, really great video package that they put together. It showed footage from the match at TakeOver Brooklyn, which, I've seen that match now a lot of times.
Right?
A lot of times. I don't know if I've quite seen it 10 times. I might have, though. Like, I really love it. And they showed them kind of preparing for that match, and they showed Bayley going through Gorilla. And, this is such an important thing. Like, this is the most important because she's going to go out and she's going to win and she's going to fulfill everything that we've ever wanted ever in the entire world. And yeah, hyperbole, but seriously, that's how it feels. And then you see Sasha prepping and Sasha going out through the curtain and she's like, nope, I'm the boss. And I know you're not sold on the whole boss gimmick,
No.
but...
It reminds me of like, the Mean Girls clique from high school, and how she's the boss of that clique. Bitch, I will punch you in the heart.
Which is exactly how you're supposed to feel about
I know,
her.
but I still don't like it, and I still want to punch her in the heart.
Which is exactly how you're supposed to feel about it. And I explained to you that it came from a Mean Girls stable, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So...
It
makes all of the sense. I know that you don't like it.
And I'm starting to dislike her a little bit because of it. A little bit.
Wow.
I know.
But, so we see Sasha going out. We see the highlights of the match. So good. So good. I love it. And then they show Charlotte and Becky backstage right before coming out for the curtain call thing too.
Yep.
Which was beautiful to me. So beautiful. And then they show Sasha explaining the curtain call, which I appreciated also. But they showed Sasha talking about the curtain call and saying that Bayley earned her respect that night because on that night she was great, but one night only. And she's going to be the champ again because she's going to win and it's going to be awesome. And they showed William Regal announcing the Iron Woman match and just the whole journey of it. And I thought it was amazing. And just watching William Regal announce it again, you just see the gleam in his eye too. How excited he is to be the one that's announcing this Iron Woman match because he knows that's a big fucking deal.
Right.
Because it is. It's a really, really big deal. Like this, they're calling this historic and they're calling this unprecedented and they're saying that this is a huge, huge, huge moment in wrestling. But this is historic and this is unprecedented and this is a huge moment in wrestling, in women's wrestling, because not only are they the main event of a pay-per-view, but it's the first female Iron Man match.
Yes.
I mean, I know it's 30 minutes instead of an hour. Like, an hour would be half the show.
Right.
But still, like, that's really huge.
It is. And, I really hope that they go out there and tear the house down. I really do. I really like Bayley. I'm losing for Sasha.
Which makes me so sad.
Well, then that promo that you were just talking about where she was good, she was great, but for one night only. That was bad.
Really? Because I think...
The way she delivered it was bad.
Well, she's not very good at promos.
Then she should stop.
Yes.
Give her a Paul Heyman until she can learn how to talk.
Yeah, you have no idea how bad it was.
I know you told me that she used to be, worse than the Drizzling Shits, and she's improved on promos, but...
You know Dana Brooke?
Yeah.
Way worse.
She's worse than Dana Boobs?
was worse at promos, not wrestling.
I want to like Sasha, I do, but I'm just having a hard time with the gimmick and the not being able to talk.
Yeah, which is fair. I would say that in the ring, though, I think she works it beautifully.
She does it well, I just don't like it. But I do have to admit, she is a good wrestler, but it's still hard for me to really...
You haven't connected with her.
Not at all.
Yeah. But after the promo thing, they moved into videos of Bayley and Sasha preparing, because this being an Iron Woman match, they need to prepare for that, because that is not easy. Right. Says the girl who can't, like, run a mile. I have literally never run a mile in my life. I am in no position to talk about needing to be in shape for things, but I realize that you have to be, and you know this way better than I do.
Yeah, you really have to be in shape, especially for that. I told you the story, and I guess I will tell it to the listeners. I wrestled a 2 out of 3 falls match, and it went 3 falls, and I ended up winning the championship that night. And I get back to the locker room, and I was just spent. I mean, I was done, and they actually did keep time on it legitimately, and they said it went 28 minutes.
And you didn't know that you were going 28 minutes?
I came in expecting to do, most places have me do anywhere from 8 to 15, depending on the situation. Mm-hmm. And thinking to myself, okay, they want 15, I'll give them 12, including entrance. That's the way it usually goes. Yeah. But, so I go in there, and they say, oh, no, we got to do a 2 out of 3 falls. And I was like, okay. Let's do this, I guess. And so anyways, 28 minutes later, I was sitting in the back in a chair, and I was so done. So I mean, I know what it's going to take out of these girls, and that's why they're going to have my respect. And I now realize that doesn't mean much of anything to anyone, but they will have my respect for going a full 30 minutes for this Iron Woman match, and it's gonna be brutal. The Bayley training vignette was much better than Sasha, but again, that's because Sasha's not a good speaker yet, and hopefully, I really do hope that she gets to that point. And the reason I hope that, I'm not gonna lie, is because I know you like her. Yeah. And you have been, with a couple exceptions, have been pretty accurate as far as we've liked the same people. Yeah. So I'm hoping that this is not one of those exceptions. I really hope that that things change, because I do like her. I do think she's a good wrestler. So hopefully they get something. Yeah, I'm hoping she just doesn't get thrown by the wayside, basically, because that would just be really unfortunate. She's way too talented for that. And I really hope that they can do something good with her on the main roster. I mean, it's frustrating. I'm assuming it's very frustrating for you, but it's frustrating for me as a fan as well as a wrestler, but to see someone who, and I'm not just talking about Sasha at this point, but see someone who is a good wrestler, who makes it to the main roster, and then just stale. Yeah. What this video did, and, talking about Sasha on the main roster, and I know it's something that everyone talks about, the Diva Revolution, and how it's not what we want it to be, and it's kind of what we were talking about with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. They're not showing their work, right? Like, they're starting to do some things where they're actually creating a story and creating interest, but they did it in the opposite order, because what this video package about Sasha and Bayley showed me was, like, this is how you do something right. Bayley telling me that, and she used the words Diva Revolution, she did, but she was like, it's about, respecting women's wrestling, because women's wrestling is making this thing, and Bayley's like, we want people to respect women's wrestling, and that's why this is so huge for us. And Bayley telling me to respect women's wrestling makes me respect women's wrestling, not that I didn't. I mean, clearly I did already. Obviously. But Bayley telling me that after her whole journey, and Bayley telling me that about, NXT women's wrestling, after seeing that whole journey and progression, because I've seen it go from divas to women's wrestling in FCW and NXT. Her telling me that women's wrestling's making a comeback, or, it's on this new precipice of awesome. I believe her,
because they're showing their work. And this
Right.
is how you do it. You don't just say revolution. And I really hope that they don't let Sasha fall by the wayside, and I hope that they show their work with her, because I think she's really, really good and she deserves it. So that was NXT this week. Thanks for joining me again, and I'm sorry that you got another not super great episode. I think that once this tag team thing is done, maybe we can get back to, like, better things.
I was glad to join you again. I was a little tired when we recorded this, so
We didn't get a lot of sleep this weekend with filming.
no, it was crazy. But hopefully you guys didn't mind my somewhat half-assed rants a little bit, because I was tired and I apologize.
I'm pretty tired too, and out of practice.
But yes, we had fun. I had fun, and I really hope you guys enjoy the show. And I'd love to be on the show again.
I'm sure I'll be back at Fort Wayne. We have projects we're working on.
We do have projects.
We're gonna have another episode of this little film project to do,
We will.
and that'll be really, really fun.
Plus, you have to come back for more training.
And I have training to do.
She does. It's
So-
a requirement.
Yep.
You can't be in a fighting movie
Without fighting training.
Without fight training. I mean,
So-
it just is.
I'm probably gonna have to punch you some more after this.
Probably, and that's
Whatever.
totally okay.
That'll happen.
Yes.
Yay, it's so much fun for me. But thank you all for listening. It's so crazy to me. I kind of almost have to do plugs now because
Yes.
I'm out for the world to hear. It's very odd. I like it. It's exciting for me. So you can get in touch with us at Inside the Ropes I'm so bad at this, see? On Facebook at facebook.com/The Inside Network. You can get me on Twitter at SondraRuthRW. You can get William on Twitter at WilliamStud1. So thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.
It's not only just a 30-minute Ironman match, but it's a match that I need to put everything into to retain my title and to prove to everybody that I can beat Sasha Banks. It wasn't just a 3-second fluke. I've upped my cardio, I've changed my diet, I've been working harder in the gym. Gonna take so much more out of me.
Bailey gave me the biggest fight of my life, but at NXT Respect, I'm gonna show Bailey who's boss around here.
So you can throw me to the wall. Tomorrow I will come back, leader of the whole pack. Bleed me black and blue. Every wound will shape me, every scar will build my
I want to win, but it has to go for 30 minutes long, and just doing my best to study, watching so many Ironman matches, anything I can find.
I don't need to tell you my strategy. You'll see it October 7th.
After I beat Sasha Banks, I'm gonna still be the NXT Women's Champion because I'm gonna earn her respect. I want to earn the respect of everybody, all the fans, and everybody watching to respect women's wrestling.
You are the reason I still fight. So you can throw